Okay, compression strength. Compression strength in calisthenics is one of the most important foundational elements that's going to help you with everything else you do in your journey. Make sure that you've unlocked a 30-second hollow hold before you do move on to this. And today we're going to be unlocking your hip flexor strength, your core strength, which will help you with things like the toes to bar and the L-sit. So let's get right into it. What actually is compression? Well, it's two major parts. People think that being able to touch their toes is just an element of flexibility, but really it's also mobility. Mobility is what range of motion you can do without any external load. And the thing is when you're touching your toes, you have to pull yourself into the position just as much as you need to let go of your hamstrings to allow your hips to move back and forth. Now, we're all sitting down all day like this. Our hip flexors are getting super tight. We're all getting lower back pain. We're all rounding our shoulders. And so working on improving and strengthening your hip flexors and your core might be one of the simple low-hanging fruits that you can do to help everything in your health and fitness journey. So, in terms of the compression, the major move that I want you to work on is, I call it the compression, the forward fold, etc. If we look at the hollow hold, and again, we're trying to make the ribs and the waist get closer together. We're bringing the shoulders together. The compression is very similar. We bring our legs out in front of us, but this time we're actually folded forwards like this. Okay, he's got very long legs for some reason. Okay, so we're trying to get the shoulders up. The shoulders are coming from his head, that's why. The shoulders as close to the knees as possible. Okay, so these are the knees. We're trying to reduce this space as much as possible, so lying forward in the front fold, and then using our hip flexors here, not this. Think about lifting from here, this point here. We're lifting up the legs and trying to compress in that position, right at that end range, okay? So we're, again, in the hamstrings, we're allowing for that range to pull us forwards, and then we're using the hip flexors in the front to lift us up from there. Now, this is the foundational movement for all compression strength. How do you, let's say you try this right now and you can barely lift your legs up. How do you get into this? At first, you want to basically reduce this angle, right? So let's say I'm out here and my hands are here. You just sit more upright. The more this angle is closed, the harder this movement's going to be. So just sit more upright, which basically translates to having your hands further backwards. The further forwards your hands are along your legs, the harder it's going to be, basically. So start off almost like next to your hips, point your toes, squeeze your knees. Remember, you want to lock off these points, so you're moving from this point. You're moving from your hips. So see if you can lift both your legs up. Maybe that's too hard. Maybe you do one leg at a time. Just squeeze together, one leg at a time. Eventually you can squeeze them both together. You lock your knees, you point your toes, and you're lifting both legs at the same time. Work up to 10 repetitions, feeling good. If you cramp, good, you're doing it well. Once you got to that point, start to work your hands forwards in this position, and you can get deeper and deeper into that compression. Okay, working forwards and forwards. Again, at any point, if you want to do a one leg variation, you can. That's absolutely fine, but you keep on working forwards. Make sure to almost like imagine you're tucking your tailbone backwards. So rather than sitting on your butt, imagine you're sitting on your sitting bones, so you can get more of that compression forwards. And also, don't worry about rounding your shoulders for this one. It's absolutely fine. You just want to get your shoulders and your hands as far forward as you can, as long as you're feeling it deep in your core and deep in your hip flexors. Once you've mastered that compression, you can actually bring your legs out to the side, and you can bring your hands on either side of the legs. Start off in the same way. You're sitting more upright, you're doing one leg at a time, you rep one side, then you go over to the other side. Eventually you can walk more forwards on each side, or you can bring your hands into the middle, walk them forwards and lift both of your legs up. This is going to work on your glute med as well as also your hip flexors. flexors. There's so many different things that we can do for compressions, but those two are the foundational movements. This is gonna really help you with things like V-sits, your knee raises and your toes to bar, even your skin the cat. It's a fantastic movement just to help with your overall compression. But don't forget, you need to be working on improving the flexibility in your hamstrings and then improving the mobility in your pike position, which is basically what we're doing here in the compression. So never stop doing this. You're always progressing, you're always developing, you're always improving the strength of hip flexors, increasing the range in your hamstrings and moving forward from there. So just some kind of key cues for mastery. Small is strong. If you're moving a tiny little bit, that's fine, rather than doing these massive big movements. I'd rather you get further forward, move an inch off the floor, but your hip flexors are basically on the verge of cramping. That's great. Small little movements as far forward as you can. Control. I don't want you just like flopping around like a fish, right? Blum, blum, blum. I want you really squeezing, pointing your toes, squeezing your knees, lifting from up here in this position at the top and really seeing if you can get that squeeze coming off the floor. That is fantastic. And the third thing, again, is keep walking those hands forwards. Try and get as far forward as you can so you can get more of that deep compression strength. So guys, that is compression. Very, very simple. Keep coming back to this, keep making it better, and it's gonna help everything else you do in calisthenics. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button below. That basically just shows me that you like the video, and it shows that I should be making more of these. If you have any questions on compression or you've tried this and it worked, let me know in the comments below. I get back to all of the comments and questions on the YouTube channel, so I'll be more than happy to help you out. And if you know someone who's struggling with their compression, and this video might help them, send it to them. It's completely free, and that's the whole point of the channel, making health education accessible to everyone, especially those people that don't like traditional gyms but still want to get toned, mobile and strong. Guys, you can do this at home for free. You know how to do it now. The only excuse now is just basically doing it. Okay, so guys, if you really enjoyed this and you want to see more videos, hit subscribe. We're going to be sharing all the lessons and secrets that we learn from our world-class facility, CaliUnity, sharing it online for free. So hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.